Good evening and welcome to Peace Crystals Academy. I'm Christy Brower and I'm your instructor tonight. Tonight we are going to talk about selenite. Selenite is a beloved stone in the metaphysical community for many reasons. We're going to get into why that is and what you can use selenite for, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about selenite just from the scientific side of things, just because I don't know about you, but I think it's very interesting to know the geological side of stones. We know lots of stuff about the metaphysical properties if you're a metaphysical stone person, but I think it's pretty fun to know about them from a scientific standpoint too. So let me tell you a little bit about selenite. So selenite, the name is a Greek word. It is actually, selene is the Greek word for moon. And that's where the word selenite came from. That's why it's named selenite, which I think is interesting because we have moonstone out there, right? And moonstone, well, we call rainbow moonstone a moonstone, but it's actually a labradorite. And then we have lots of different moonstones also. But selenite is also a moonstone. Selenite has some other names. It's also known as satin spar and desert rose or gypsum flower. So there are several different structural varieties of gypsum. That means that the way that they form is different. They're made of the same mineral, but they form in different ways. And so I have some different varieties here I'm going to share with you here in a minute. Selenite is made of calcium sulfate dihydrate, which is gypsum. Let's see. Some of the largest crystals on the planet are made of selenite. You've probably seen the Nika Mines cave of crystals. It's in South America. There's another unbelievable cave in Spain full of selenite. The reason that they find selenite that way is because it is an evaporative stone, which means that the minerals were at one point in a liquid solution, and when the water evaporated, the minerals stayed behind and formed the crystal masses. And so that's why they find them in these caves underground, because at one point these caves were full of water, and full of water that was also full of the calcium sulfate dihydrate. And so really interesting, you know, crystals form in a lot of different ways, but selenite has to form in the presence of water. Let's see, let me tell you a little bit more. Gypsum or selenite is very soft. It's a 2 on the Mohs hardness scale. That's an important thing to know about it when using it in jewelry or as a pocket stone or around your house, is that it is very soft, and so it can be scratched very easily. You can scratch it with your fingernail. You know, it can be etched. I'll show you, for example, this is a ball of selenite, that a sphere that got wet. And if you can see now, it doesn't have a sheen anymore. It's lost its sheen on the outside. It's been etched. And that can happen to selenite. Selenite is one of those stones that you should not cleanse in water. It's also a stone that you should not cleanse in salt because it will pit as well. Let's see. I wanted to see if there's any more of the interesting scientific side of things I wanted to tell you. One thing that I think is really interesting is that selenite exists on every continent on the planet. It is a very prolific stone. Let's see. So selenite itself, here are some characteristics. It is most often transparent and colorless. It is translucent, generally, although it varies in translucency. And it can vary in color. So there are some colors, although most of what you see is white or peach. There are some other colors as well. Let's see. Sometimes it can be a druzy, which is tiny little crystals, you know, covering the outside of a rock or a geode. You don't see that as commonly. Satin spar is what we're the most used to. So this, for example, is satin spar. This is a selenite tower that I have in the store. It's called the unicorn heart because of the way that it is cut, but this is satin spar. So satin spar is isn't necessarily clear. It's more white. It's very shiny. It has a long fiber to it. You can see that there are long grains in the stone. You can see the way that it is formed. It can at times be colored, and so it is the one that we sometimes see. There's a peach form. I don't have it. I don't have any peach, I discovered, but sometimes it is peach. Then there's also the desert rose. So desert rose is a rosette-shaped gypsum with the outer druzy of sand or with sand throughout it. So this, and I know that my light is washing out my stones. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do about it at this point, but this is a desert rose. So this is this is selenite that formed in sand. And so it's selenite with sand all around in it. And so it forms all these little blades, and together they look like rosettes. They look like little rosebuds. A lot of selenite is formed in desert. And so all of the deserts formed sandstone or selenite has sand in it. So the desert rose is one. The barite desert roses is another that is a sulfate mineral that is made in a similar way. And the gypsum flower, which I don't have one, I wish I did. It's a rosette-shaped gypsum with spreading fibers that can include an outer druzy, so it can be druzy. And the outside edges sort of form all the way around the outside in a loop on the outside edges, so it looks like a flower. Let's see. Let me show you. Some selenite is white, more pearly, like this satin spar is, and some of it is very clear. So this is a piece that I have that's quite clear. You can see through it. It's kind of like optical calcite, similar effect. Here's another piece. This piece is a bigger piece that I keep next to my desk, and you can see right through it. Beautiful piece of selenite. Let's see. What else do I want to tell you? Let me check the chat. I see all of you coming in, so hello. I'm glad you're here. Oh, many of you are here. That's really nice. Tara says, I saw green selenite from Australia today. It was so pretty. Yes, there's green and there's red and there's peach and yellow. There are a lot of different colors, although most of the time you see the white or the peach. I have white and peach in the store. One interesting thing to know about selenite is that when it is dehydrated, so selenite has 2 water molecules in it, which is one of the reasons why it's so soft. When it is extra dehydrated, it becomes another mineral called anhydrite. And this is anhydrite. I know it's hard to see it, but it's a bladed, it's a stone that is in bladed layers. It's a very pale blue color. Sometimes it's called angelite or angel wing anhydrite because it can look kind of like a wing in the way that it forms. So I thought that was kind of fun. I did not know that these stones were related. I happen to have anhydrite and selenite, and I didn't know until I was researching for class tonight that is actually, they are related to each other. Those minerals are. Some other ways that selenite comes, this is a candle holder. This is a tea light candle holder. Because as we know, selenite is a stone that transmutes. And so it is a stone that changes energy into light. And so it is a self-clearing stone, and it is a stone that you can use in your home and in your living space to keep the vibration high and to keep the energy clear. So one of the ways that people do that is use it as a candle holder. So this holds a tea light, or this is heavy, so get this over here. This is a selenite tower that is actually a lamp. I don't have it plugged in at the moment because the bulb is out, but it's quite a large one. This one sits on my desk in between my computers because it helps keep the vibration high in my office, and it helps to transmute the energy coming from my computer screens. So let's talk a little more about some of the metaphysical properties and uses of selenite. So I call selenite the great transmuter, and that is because it transmutes low vibrating energy into light. And so it is a great stone for a lot of different things. So it's great for space clearing. It can help you to clear negative energy from a space, and it can also help to keep a space clear. Several years ago, when working in when I used to have an in-person metaphysical store, we had a gal who owned a hair salon come in, and she bought a tower, kind of like this one, for every station in her hair salon, because she noticed that the energy was getting kind of heavy in her hair salon. And she was, people, when you get your haircut, I don't know if you've noticed this, but most people, when they get their haircut, have a real tendency to kind of dump your stuff. People see their hairdressers frequently as sort of a counselor. They tell them private things. They're working in your crown chakra. It kind of activates things. And so often you will speak about stuff that you might normally not say anything about. And because of that, she was noticing that, there was a lot of heavy energy because people were just spilling their stories in her salon. And so she picked up selenite towers like this for every station. And she said that it made a huge difference in how clear the energy was in her salon. So it's a great stone to just keep in your space. You can see, obviously, I have several pieces here in my office that just stay here. One of the things that you can do with them, like this larger blade that I have, I use this to clear other stones. And so I sit stones on it to clear them. And so once I've used a stone in a healing session and it needs to be cleared, I sit it on this piece or another piece I have on my other desk to clear the energy of that other stone, because whatever selenite comes into contact with, it will clear on its own, which I think is really amazing and is powerful and very useful for all of us as metaphysical healing kind of people. So a chunk of selenite is nice to have for clearing other stones. It can be used to clear yourself. So there is a technique that is you wand yourself. So a technique of wanding yourself, so passing through your energy field, your aura, with a piece of selenite, or a wand, which I don't have one sitting here at the moment. I think there's one up there on the shelf. Actually, I forgot to get it down. But you can pass it through your energy body and go all the way around, kind of like if you've ever been saged, like at a sweat or at a sacred pipe ceremony. You could do the same thing with selenite and just go all the way around, all the way through your energy body, and basically brush your energy body to wand away stagnant or unnecessary energy, low vibrating energy. It can be a great stone to carry with you if you're struggling. If you work in a place that is low vibrating, having a piece on your desk can be nice. One thing I love about selenite is that it is, like this piece here is carved, or the candle holder, they look decorative. And because they look decorative, I've found that selenite is something that's a little easier to have on your desk, like at work, because people don't necessarily know what it is. It just looks like it's a decorative piece. Somebody said they thought you lost me, but no, I don't think so. Looks like we're still here. Anyway, so you can keep a piece on your desk, or you can carry a piece with you. Like you can get this is just a little carved piece that I picked up that is nice to carry in your pocket. Works as a great little worry stone. Just don't get it wet. So those are some ways that you can use selenite. Selenite is a very versatile stone. Selenite is regularly used in chakra balancing in combination with other stones. It's a great stone not only for transmuting low vibrating energy, but for also boosting the energy of the stones around it. So I know I've seen pieces, and I think I have a couple in my store that are like a selenite blade that's wrapped that has chakra stones on it. Great little piece to work with yourself as far as balancing your energy body, because the selenite is going to work at the transmuting of low vibrating energy the whole time that you're balancing yourself. I love it. This piece right here has been a real favorite in in-person sessions for many years. Anybody that sat down in my office with that I felt an immediate heaviness from them, they would hold this piece while I talked to them before I did their session, because it would start the process of clearing that low vibrating energy and freeing things up and really opening up the energy in a space. When used in space clearing, selenite is frequently placed at the doors and sometimes at the windows and entrances to a house in order to clear the energy as people walk in. So having a piece of selenite sitting next to or above or near your front door so that when people walk in the door, the stone clears the energy. When they walk out the door, the stone clears the energy. Is a great way to just sort of have an automatic self-clearing station set up in your home. So those are some ways to use selenite. I hope you love it as much as I do. It is a stone that I sit and hold when I'm talking on the radio or when I'm talking to clients. It's something that I hold on a very regular basis because I love the energy of this stone. So I encourage you to check it out if you're not familiar, or if you are and you love it, please feel free. I did give you a coupon code for the store for selenite for 15% off for attending the class. And so I'm just going to put that in the chat of the video, but it's just 15 selenite, all one word. We'll get you 15% off any of the selenite products in the store, which I have many, as you can imagine. Obviously, I really love selenite. I thought, I need to get together some pieces so that I can show you for the class tonight. And I was kind of surprised about how many pieces I have. I mean, I know I love it, but I actually have a lot of selenite in my house, obviously for, good reason. So thank you all very much for being here with me tonight. I appreciate you being present and participating, and feel free to check out what we have in the store, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here to answer stone questions. It's one of my favorite things. So have a great night.